Have you ever made a decision multiple times?
Yeah.
Like when?
Like, I mean, I don't know exactly what you're getting at, but like, for example, every morning when you wake up, you have to decide what you're going to wear, or like what shoes you want to wear. That's a recurring decision in your life every single day.
Yeah. Have you ever like decided on something really important and then you like forgot about it, and then you went through the whole decision-making process again and then arrived at the same conclusion and then realized like, oh, we already figured this out before?
Yeah, that's mostly because I didn't like put it in the calendar, or I didn't write it down in our notes app. Because I'll decide like, oh yes, I'm going to pursue this person as a lead. Yep, officially decided. I was scared a little earlier, but I've made the decision. I'm going to do it. And then I just don't write it down or don't put it in the calendar to like actually contact them. And then a week later, I'm like, oh, do I really want to talk to this person? I'm like, oh wait, I already decided that. Yeah, but it's after I've already like done the mental work of making the decision all over again.
Do you feel tired after making that decision multiple times? Do you feel like you've wasted your time and energy? Man, wouldn't it be nice? I feel like this is one of those like Tupperware commercials, you know, like with the...
Wouldn't it be nice
if you never had to struggle with too many decisions ever again?
And it's the person in the infomercial like tripping over their Tupperware and like dropping it onto the counter in a totally fake way.
Anyway, if you stick around to the end of the podcast and send us 3 payments of $19.95, we will share with you how we have built systems to reduce the number of decisions we have to make.
And we'll throw in one piece of Tupperware for free.
We're going to unpack it after the intro and the other stuff.
Let's go.
You know how this podcast works. Welcome to the Let's Quit podcast.
Quitting is not always a bad thing.
If you have the right mindset, quitting can be the most powerful tool you have on your journey to success. It's certainly been helpful for us.
Whether it's flying through hurricanes, building our businesses, or just trying to get to bed on time, we're always trying to level up and improve our lives.
This is the show where we share the lessons, experiences, and friends that have helped us live this incredible life. So let's quit the bad and grow the good together.
All right, welcome back. If you were a brand new listener, thank you so much for coming to our show and listening. If you're a return listener, thanks so much for coming back. We really appreciate you. Thanks for being interested in our content.
If you've enjoyed the show for a while and you want to support us in some way, you can just share the show with a friend. If you've got an episode that you really like or you think would be helpful to somebody, we'd really appreciate you just sending it to them in a text message or whatever. That would really mean a lot to us. That's how we get the show to grow. You could also leave us a review on the podcasting app of your choice. 5 stars is our preferred rating, but you choose anyone you see fit.
Yes.
What have we been up to this week, Jenny?
We've been doing more flying than we have been in the last couple of months.
We've been in Mississippi most of this week.
We are officially in winter storm season. And for those of you who don't know, we fly with the hurricane hunters, but hurricanes are not the only things we fly into.
We're not a one-trick pony.
No.
Don't cut our funding, Uncle Sam.
We can do
more, please.
We can do more than one thing. So
Keep me employed.
We also fly through winter storms off of the Pacific Northwest coast. Oh, you can do them in other places too. We fly them off the East Coast sometimes.
Yeah, the big nor'easter storms. We'll pick up a couple of those every season. But yeah, so as this podcast is being released, you are back in Mississippi for your 2-week block. And then mine is, I don't know, sometime later, I guess in March.
Yep.
I don't know. I can't think that far ahead.
So at this time I am, when this releases, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm out flying. But
yeah, that's where we've been all week. And just trying to kick the can down the road and keep the businesses rolling.
And it's so hard because we don't want to leave because we just got moved in and everything's starting to flow nicely.
Dude, you're killing it in sales right now. I feel like I'm
killing it in leads right now.
Leads make sales.
Yeah, I've gotten some sales for the month, but also I feel so much more productive in this shop and in this space.
Can we talk about that for a second? Yeah. I am so happy that we are being more productive. We're spending fewer hours here than we spent on the business when it was in the house, but we get so much more done.
Yes, it's a dedicated time. It's a dedicated space. I'm not getting distracted by the laundry needing to be switched or the kitchen is messy or there's dishes. Now I deal with all that stuff when we get home and it's not even on my mind here. It just makes me so much happier.
And plus we have the space. We're not I've said it before and I'll say it again. We spent half of our time shuffling things around in that house just to have room to do the next task. And here, everything stays set up. To turn on this podcast, all we had to do was move the little end table off the wall, put the laptop on a cardboard box, and hit record. Yep. In the old studio, we had to pull the table forward and get the mics plugged in and then restart the computer.
But my chair wouldn't fit around the back side of the table because the closet was in the way. So I had to move my chair first, then move the table, then move your chair. But can't do that before you turn the cameras on because then you trip over the wires, and it was just a disaster.
Right. But now we can just literally like turn stuff on, hit record, and go. And it's just been so much nicer.
And I've just had so much more time to think too. Like I really took January as a time to like vision cast, I guess is a word I would use.
Use a bait caster or a spinning reel, or
I vision cast with my heart. Okay. I had lots of ideas.
You use worms?
Oh my goodness. No, don't take this analogy too far. I was coming up with ideas for what I wanted to do in Samara for the year. And it was really exciting and nice because I had a space to do it in and I had a time frame that I could do it in. And I just have 8 million ideas, which makes it even harder to leave to fly because I'm like, I just want to see some of these through, and I don't know. But that's okay.
I vision cast at the lake with a Zebco 33.
Oh my gosh. Did
anybody else use that reel growing up? I feel like that's the official reel of all 10-year-olds. All 10-year-olds are sponsored by the Zebco 33 fishing reel. We had like 10 of those suckers at home when I was growing up.
It's like I just didn't even talk the last 10 seconds.
Anyway, get out of here with your hippy-dippy vision
casting. At least I didn't say like manifesting. I feel like that's the word that drives me nuts. And people are like, just manifest good things. I'm like, that sounds fake.
Yep.
And made up.
Well, that's another podcast for another time.
Anyways.
So we've been working on that. You've been killing it with sales. You've been vision casting, as you say.
Yes.
We, in that process, we've been going through, there's a lot of stuff happening with the YouTube channel right now. Like, we're still sort of blowing up. Like, it's tapered off a little bit, but like, I don't know. This is my subjective perspective, but like, YouTube is treating us differently now that we've got over 100,000 subscribers.
Yes.
I don't know if it's because we're making better content. I don't know if it's just because more people are interested now that we're in a new space.
I don't think that's it, because the same thing happened to us on Instagram when we hit 10,000. Once we hit 10,000, Instagram was like, all of the doors have been opened for you. We got so many more followers. Like, there's way more engagement on our posts. I don't know. That's just what I saw.
I'm sure we're going to reach another plateau where
absolutely.
Yeah, we grow faster now, but like we're also going to reach another asymptote is the mathematical nerdy term. Pushing my glasses up for those that can't see.
But I feel like they do want to reward you for hitting those milestones.
I don't wear glasses.
You've got like, oh, it felt really good, and I really, blew up when I hit 100,000. Now let's work even harder and post even more content so I can hit the next milestone. Like, YouTube's not stupid.
Right. Well, your growth is, what is the term? It's not exponential. It's like logarithmic or rational. I don't know. But like, it grows. So like, you double your audience size according to a certain schedule for YouTube. And I do not want to go down the rabbit hole talking about YouTube today, but like, your audience, like, think about how long it took us to go from 50,000 to 100,000. Mm-hmm. It was about the same amount of time as it took us to go from 25,000 to 50,000.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that we'll hit 200,000 in about the same amount of time it took us to get from 50 to 100. So your growth, I guess that is exponential growth. I just redefined exponential
in today's
growth.
Math lesson, you're
going to hit a certain point where like your channel levels off unless you do something drastically different.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we got verified as part of this process. We're still waiting on our shiny silver plaque to show up.
Yeah.
It's going to go above my desk.
Yeah,
but,
above the computer.
Anyway, we're still waiting on that. But I don't know. I appreciate being treated differently now that our channel is a little bit bigger, but I don't want to be treated differently. I don't want to let it go to my head.
Oh, like the verification thing?
Yeah. I mean, I do not want to spend too much time on this, but like, people treat people differently when you got a little check mark next to your name.
Yeah, I know. I totally don't get that, because it's like, what is it based on? Is it based on numbers?
We are two clowns with a camera. There's nothing special about us, but yet when you give us a little check mark next to our name, all of a sudden our words mean so much more.
Because I do that for other people who have check marks next to their name. I'm like, ooh, they're verified. And I'm like, what does that even mean?
Right.
What does that even mean?
And anybody that doesn't do that is just bitter. Like, I'm sorry. Like, everybody treats, when you see that check mark, if you know what it means, you are going to treat them differently.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some weird things in the content production world, and the verification checkmark is one of those that still
it's high school. It
baffles me.
What clothes are you wearing? What car do you drive?
Right.
Like, it's all the same, like, status level stuff. And I hate it, but it's part of the world, and you can either get angry and hate it, or you can use it to your advantage. So I don't want it to go to my head. I want to use it to my advantage and help other people with it. So as long as that's our mission, I guess whatever happens.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Anyway, but we've been enjoying our exciting growth on YouTube and just trying to push into that. And on that note, editing and stuff like my keyboard is junk.
Yeah, we bought these really nice keyboards because we like having cool backdrops when we film. And so we're like, we'll make our desks look really cool, complement the colors, the Jennie and Davis colors, the blue and green.
Right. So I took blue and I have orange as an accent color. Jennie took green. This is what Jennie told me, by the way. Jennie took green. I'm going to sound like I know what I'm talking about. Jennie took green with like pink or blush.
Yeah, with like pink or blush accents to go with it.
So anyway, I got this really cool looking orange keyboard, but it's been nothing but a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it's not very compatible with the Mac.
It's not even that. It's like, it's just not a good keyboard. Like the buttons are really hard to push relative.
It's really expensive too.
Well, it's a mechanical keyboard, so the switches are more expensive, but it was also really hard to push the keys down. And it also like drop signal. It was doing duplicate letters. It was
because it was a wireless keyboard.
Right. But it wouldn't connect via Bluetooth. Anyway, lots of nerdy stuff. Keyboard was garbage. And then Amazon was like, oh, you need to return it to get your money back. And I'm like, all right, cool. But then it's like, but don't ship us lithium batteries. If there's a problem, you can't ship it back. But they cut me a return label. So I'm like, do I ship it back? Do I not?
Yeah.
And so we got on customer support and they were just like, they just put us through the whole gambit again. And they're finally,
like, here's your label. We're like, cool.
And then they're like, yeah, take it to a Kohl's and let them deal with it. So I was like, all right, perfect. If I get my money back and I don't have to deal with shipping it anymore, that's what I want.
That's good enough for me. But just little stuff like that, continuing to get the office prepped and working. We also
figured out something for Bruce, who's back here laying and taking a nap. Don't say his name too loud. He'll wake up and bother everybody. Yeah. But I don't know, just the last couple of days, he's gotten really smelly and we don't like bathing him very often because like it dries his skin out and it's not good for him. And
it's so much work. Have you ever tried bathing a horse 90-pound dog in your bathtub? It's just, oh my gosh. Obviously we give him baths when he comes back from the kennel or if he gets dirty, if he starts to smell too bad. But we're like, oh my gosh, there's got to be something better than bathing him like every however many days to just make him smell good.
I'm like Googling like, do they make doggy cologne or doggy perfume? Like trying to make him not smell so bad. And then I thought like, why don't we just take a washcloth, put a little bit of soap on it and just wipe him down. Like he doesn't need to get a full bath. He doesn't need to be submerged. But if we just like could wipe the surface layer of doge off of him.
of oils and stuff.
Like it just, And
works like a charm.
It's great. So any of you out there struggling with a smelly dog, just wipe him down once a week. You don't need to give him a full bath. Just take a wet rag and some soap on it and then just wipe them down with some Dawn. If it's good enough for the baby ducks, it's good enough for Bruce.
Yes, and Perry's on occasion.
I had a friend in college that used to shower with Dawn soap.
What?
Yeah, and that's what he said. He was like, if it's good enough for the baby ducks, it's good enough for me.
Oh my God. Like shampoo or like just body wash?
Everything. It's like the man used it for everything.
Like a 13-in-1.
We went to a very special place for
Dawn
school.
soap? Yeah.
It was not a normal college. But
wow.
Anyway, that's for another podcast another time.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're also getting slightly better at basketball, which is not hard to do.
Yeah, because we put the basketball hoop up in the shop, and we're terrible at basketball naturally. My whole life, I've always been horrible at basketball. But this hoop specifically, I feel like has been giving us a very hard time because the ball was overinflated.
Well, the ball was overinflated. It's a little bigger than the ball was disproportionately large to the rim. Hoop. And so we took some air out of the ball. That helped. And then also we've just been practicing for once in our lives.
Bruce loves playing though because he can't have the ball because he'll pop it if he gets it. And so it's just a big game of keep away, except he never wins.
He doesn't realize it's keep away. He thinks he's playing and he never gets the ball and
he gets so mad. He'll he's the sweetest dog. He never growls. He never barks unless like somebody's at the door or something, but he's sitting there and he's just kind of whining and growling. It's like, guys.
He's like stomping on the floor too.
My turn.
Yeah. He's just mad that he can't get the ball. It's
poor guy. Oh, well.
Maybe he should hustle better.
Yeah. He just doesn't know his own strength. He doesn't want to pop the ball. But he will if he gets it.
I don't think he would. He's got a gentle enough like hold in his mouth. I don't think he'd pop it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll give it a shot.
So anyway. That's pretty much the weekly update.
Yep, that's pretty much
Let's move on to the book question.
Yes.
We're on question number 3 now, right?
Yes, we are. Question number 3.
Okay, we got this book at Target, 3,000 questions about me. It's just content. That's all you need to know.
We thought it would be fun because there's some good questions in there.
It's a book with a bunch of great questions. Some are like super deep. Some are very shallow. So
you never know what you're going to get.
Right. All right. Oh my gosh.
Deeper, shallow, deeper, shallow.
The first 3 questions in this book. I'm not going to tell you. You got to go back and listen to the podcast to listen to them. But the first 3 questions in this book are so deep.
Oh, no, it's a deep one.
I know. Anyway, I saw another one in here later that was like really light and funny. Why couldn't we get one of those in the first 3?
Can I just have like a, what's your favorite type of Kellogg's cereal? Can I get that one?
I'm sure at some point we can, but what is yours?
I like Fruit Loops.
Is that Kellogg's?
Is it Kellogg's? I
don't
thought it was
know the
Kellogg's.
brand.
I get so confused with what's Kellogg's and General
All
Mills.
I know is that Frosted Flakes is Kellogg's.
Ooh.
Or is that General Mills?
Oh, no.
No, Kellogg's is Tony the Tiger.
Maybe I should just say, what's your favorite breakfast cereal?
Did you know that the guy that voiced Tony the Tiger is the same guy that sang the Mr. Grinch song?
Oh,
I mean one.
Is it the Thurl Ivan?
His name is Thurl Ravenscroft.
Yeah, Thurl Ravenscroft.
Yeah, he's the same guy. He voiced Tony the Tiger, but he also sang that song. Anyway.
Interesting.
On to the book question. What is the trait that you most deplore in yourself?
The trait that I most deplore in myself.
What you hate about yourself, Jenny?
Oh, how long you got? No, I'm just kidding.
I think that's the answer right there.
That is the answer to the
fact
question.
that
I deplore the fact that I can think of so many things that I would like to fix in myself or that I don't like.
Well, it's just a constant. I think your biggest flaw is the fact that you see flaws in yourself,
yes,
even when they're not there.
So many. Yeah, I think that's what I deplore about myself so much.
Is yourself.
Yeah. Well, no, not myself.
Why do you hate yourself, Jenny?
Not that. Just that I am so quick to see flaws and so slow to see the good. You know what I mean? Like, It takes a lot of work for me to looking back, I think I really did do a good job when I followed that lead or made that sale. I think I did. I think it was really good.
Oh, you mean when you make $50,000 your first year in doing sales and you still think you're a terrible salesperson? You mean like that?
Could have been 95.
Oh my
That's all I'm saying. No, but seriously, it's just, I think a lot of people struggle with that too, where it's like, I could give you a whole list really easily of like flaws I see in myself, but I'm somebody who's like, give me the same list with the same number of items on it that you love about yourself or that you're really good at. That would take me 3 times as long to fill out as the flaws list.
Yeah.
You're the opposite.
I don't have that problem.
And somebody would be like, oh, make me a list of things that you're bad at. You're like, done. It's empty. Yeah, I know.
No. The thing I hate about myself, they worded that. They wanted to say, what do you hate about yourself?
But they couldn't say that.
But the publisher was like, hey, for question number 3, right out of the gate, maybe don't go.
So we use the word deplore instead? I feel like deplore is almost worse than hate.
Guarantee you that 3rd question was, what do you hate about yourself? And then the publisher made them change it.
Probably.
Anyway, so
what do you deplore about yourself?
What I deplore about myself
is the most deplorable trash imaginable. Speaking of
deplorable rubbish.
Deplorable
you got the
rubbish.
lyric wrong.
Deplorable rubbish imaginable. With arsenic sauce.
For some reason, my brain carries the assumption that people care about what I'm doing or who I am or what's going on in my life. And they just don't.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't. But for some reason, my brain is wired to think that, oh, people want to hear what you're doing. And like, there is a percentage of people, I mean, people listen to the podcast, people that watch on YouTube.
Your mom.
Right. But that's just like my biggest thing that I don't like about myself is that I constantly think people are interested in me and what I'm doing, and they're just not. And I cannot for the life of me, I cannot convince myself that I'm not that interesting. So
2 completely opposite problems here.
You hate yourself and I love myself, and it's way too much from both of us.
Yes.
And then we average out to be a somewhat normal one person.
Yes.
Isn't that what marriage is all about, really?
Yes, you average out to be one
somewhat normal
pretty great person. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Wow. I don't like this book anymore. It's convicting.
Where's the lighthearted questions in this thing?
Anyway, let's move on to the title topic. All right, Jennie, hit him with a quote.
All right, so our quote for this week is, when our physical energy slumps, so does the quality of our decisions. And that's by Michael Hyatt.
Yeah, Michael Hyatt's a pretty cool business. He's been around for a while. He's a business coach, one of these like entrepreneurship guys. Like, I don't know, he just comes from a really cool like Christian perspective in a lot of his writing and work too. So it's just, I don't know, we like a lot of his books and stuff, so they've been really helpful. But yeah, like decision fatigue, if you've never heard that phrase before. So that's basically what we mean by like quit making decisions. It's not don't ever not make decisions again, but as much as you can with the things that don't matter very much, do not make decisions about them.
Yeah.
Like have a system that makes your decisions for you. And we'll unpack what we mean about that. But that's basically, in a nutshell, like what we mean with our
the title of quit making decisions. We don't mean like be lazy and stop trying new things. We're just saying like limit the amount of big decisions or not even big decisions, limit the amount of decisions period that you have to make, because those are exhausting.
Right.
Save your brain power.
Right. Instead of making a decision for every time you do something, make one decision about that thing that lasts you a week or a month.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about what this looks like. The first thing, easiest to see, is grocery shopping. Like everybody's done it. You either go to the store with a list and you get all the stuff on your list, or you go into the store and wander aimlessly, and God knows what happens at the checkout counter.
Yeah, hopefully you get everything you need. Hopefully you have dinner for 5 nights this week.
Right. So if you sit down and in one session, you go through the pantry, go through the fridge, and you write down all the things that you need, grocery shopping is relatively easy. You walk down the aisles, you do your one lap around, and then you make one zigzag. I don't know if you're organized like me, but like Jennie's not. Jennie likes to bounce all over the store back and forth. But like I like to make one lap around and then zigzag through the aisles and get everything on the list one time and then go to the checkout counter and go home. I
will say I no longer like to bounce around everywhere when I grocery shop. I have adopted like a more efficient route because ever since we moved to Houston and the grocery stores have been so packed, I'm like, all right, that took way too long.
Let's get in, let's get out.
I'm exhausted. Too many people. But
yeah, so that's a very easy way to see where like if you sit down and make your decision one time by writing down a list of like what you need, or even if you like, we can go a step further and talk about meal prepping. Like instead of like wandering into the kitchen saying, what am I going to eat for dinner? And then having to make a decision when you're hungry, you're tired, you don't want to cook.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's just go get McDonald's. Like the quality of your decisions is going to get worse if you have to make more of them. Mm-hmm. So if you sit down once a week and you say, okay, we're going to make this on Monday, this on Wednesday, and this on Friday, and we're just going to eat leftovers on the other days. Like your week now becomes much, much easier to handle when it comes to food. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to make as many decisions. You can just eat the food and move on.
Right. You're like, I have 3 meals in the fridge. I have 3 options. I just pick one. They're pre-made. I don't have to decide what I feel like eating or what I want to eat because it's already made.
We apply this to basically every part of our lives that we can. Mm-hmm. We're slowly starting to build systems in our personal life. Well, we had to do this out of necessity when we had the business in the house. Like, because we just couldn't take time to do the laundry and everything else. And now when we come home, it's like, all right, all we got to do is do the laundry for the week. Or now all we got to do is do the meal prepping and cooking for the week.
Yeah.
And then we don't have to worry about it the rest of the week. We save money, we save time. We're not as stressed. Like, we're not as tired. It's just a lot easier now that we've adopted this. So we do this with our calendar too. Like, when we know that we have made a decision on something, it goes to the calendar so we don't forget. And then all we have to do is wake up in the morning, look at the calendar and think, oh, past me has already made a decision on what I'm doing for today. I can just spend my time and energy on getting the thing done instead of scheduling the day. And then, oh my gosh, now I got to do all the work after I've spent an hour scheduling my day.
Yeah.
Like that's a nightmare. So we do this with our calendar. But this is why the military gives you like clothing to wear.
Yes.
Because they don't want you to have to make a decision on what to wear. I mean, there's a lot of reasons they have uniforms, but like one of them is that decision fatigue. The more decisions you have to make, the worse your decisions are going to be. So they remove as many decisions from you.
It's like, we're going to tell you what to wear every day. And I like, when I was younger, like really young, for a little while, I had to wear uniforms to school. And when you're a kid, that's like the worst thing ever. Like, no, I don't want to wear a uniform. They're itchy, and I just want to wear my hot pink T-shirt that I got at my best friend's birthday party at the roller rink. God, don't tell me what to wear. I want to wear, whatever, my slippers to school. And but now that I'm older and I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be told just what to wear every day, because it's like, do I wear my purple sweatshirt or a green sweatshirt? Do I wear jeans or wear these other jeans? It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sick of it. So I don't hate the fact that the military gives us uniforms and tells us what to wear.
Well, they want you to use your brain power when it comes to life and death, when it comes to moving multi-million-dollar assets around. Like, that's where they want you to use your brain power. They don't want you to have to think about, oh, what do I wear? Because by the time that you wake up, choose what to wear, choose what to eat, drive to work, unpack your stuff, and then plan your whole day out, you're so tired from making 50 decisions that you're not going to get any quality work done during the workday. So they remove as many decisions from you as they possibly can so that you can use all your brain power on the things that are most important.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we've made our point. But you can also see this from the other way. So let's say you're running a business. Customers will get overwhelmed with too much decision. You will lose sales if you have to make a customer make a decision.
It'll exhaust them because they're like, oh, I don't know. Which one do I want? Do I want the purple or the red or the orange or the green or the blue pen? I just can't decide. And then they're so tired and frustrated from the fact that you're making them make so many decisions that they're like, I'll just do this later. And how many times do they actually come back and do it later? Do I really want this?
Do I really have the money in the account? Like, no, but if you just have, like, think about the old iPhone.
Yeah.
Like, it was black or white. 8 gigs or 16 gigs. There were like very few options. You made your choice, you bought it, and you moved on.
Yep.
And yeah, people kicked Apple's butt for a long time saying like, oh, we want more customization and all that. But like, people say things that they don't mean. People want more customization, but when you give it to them, they don't make a decision.
Right. Like at restaurants too. That's why, it's not necessarily good to have 200 things on your menu, because then people sit there for forever and, have a hard time making decisions. So,
yeah. So just another like proof of concept, like from the other direction, that like, yes, this is how all humans behave.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you say with your lying word mouth, you don't want to do the things that you say you do. And like, yeah.
Yeah. So just know that that's human behavior. Is that
right? We want to make decisions.
Exhausting.
We want to take responsibility for things. I think naturally some of us do.
Yeah.
But yet when we get that responsibility, we flounder because we can't make that many decisions. So we need to build good systems which make those decisions for us, which brings us to our action steps for today. So the first thing is to identify the times that you make decisions every single day. Like, what is one decision you make every single day that, hey, could we batch these out? Mm-hmm. Could we like sit down on Sunday afternoon and say, hey, for breakfast this week, I'm just going to have toast and coffee like every single day this week. Or maybe you need to mix it up. Like I can have eggs on Tuesday, Thursday, and I can have toast and coffee on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Mm-hmm. Like figure it out once. Write it down somewhere, and then all you got to do is execute. You don't have to think through it every day. And you'll notice that you have more energy, you have more time, you have,
The fact that we meal prep now saves us so much time.
Oh my gosh. Like we even, like sometimes we'll have steak night and we'll just like, of course you can't like prep steak and stuff. So like we do all the cooking in that one night, and you can even hear it in my voice now. I think that's ridiculous because we meal prep so well now that like, man, I could not imagine making dinner every single night.
The dishes that are consistently every single night to clean up. I'd rather just have one night where I do a bunch of them and that's it.
Right. So yeah. And then the second action step is just to go a little further, like practice building these systems that make these decisions for you. Come up with a meal plan calendar. Come up with that's what we do. We don't sit down and think about, what am I going to be hungry for this week? No, we got a list of recipes. We pull them out at random, and then that makes our grocery shopping list. That makes our meal prep plan. Everything is just a little system.
Yeah, and that might sound a little crazy or kind of a big step to take. So definitely take baby steps first before you go.
But for those of you that have
revolutionizing your meal plan.
You make time for what you want to make time for. I hate, this is a whole other podcast. I hate it when people say, I don't have time for this. Like, no, you don't make time for it, because guess what? If there's a fishing trip this weekend, you're going to make time for it.
Yeah.
Like, don't sit here and tell me we all got the same amount of time. Don't tell me you don't have time. I understand y'all got kids and a family and a job and everything, but like you make time for the things you really want to make time for. So when you start to see your time in voluntary segments, you really start to get accountable to the calendar, and you can say, look, if I really want to start this business, I have to start meal prepping because I'm spending too much time cooking and cleaning and all that. So, yeah.
Yep.
mini rant there in the action steps for you. But yeah, any announcements that we have? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Not for this one.
No. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with us this week, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.